Gentlemen, what's going on, man? 1247, a great one, man. It's a great day to be great. You know, your boy always grinding. Your boy is always grinding, man. Listen, it's a great day to be great. It's a great day to be the greatest version of yourself. You gentlemen, do what you need to do to be happy. Do what you need to do to be happy. That's what I want to come to you guys with. Basically, just being happy. Happiness is not a crime. Okay? Happiness, your individual happiness, your individual joy is not a crime. And don't let anybody in your community ever shame you for being happy, for just being happy. And that's one thing within the so-called American Black community. It's a crime for a man to have joy. It's a crime for a man to be happy. Because just for the sake of being happy, you getting crucified because you're happy. Brothers out here getting crucified. Oh, you John, what you smiling about? Like, gentlemen, is it a crime? Come on, gentlemen. Is it a crime for you to be happy? You listen, I open my eyes to a brand new day. Is that a crime for you to be thankful that you're breathing? You woke up, somebody else didn't. Is that a crime for you to be happy? John, I'm looking at once again. Looking at the panel. Shout out to Black Men Travels and Al Grease and all these guys. And, you know, I'm looking at the panel that they did like 2 months ago, and they're talking about brothers traveling and being happy. Why is it? And Al, shout out to Al Grease. Come up with the Black Man's Option. You guys check him out. Black Man's Option 1, 2, and he got a third one coming out. But I'm just watching him just now. He was saying, listen, he's been the second time he went to Brazil, that he was happy, and he came back and was telling people this, that, and the third. But he said he came back and he was so happy, he started adjusting his life because he experienced something different in Brazil, and he said he went to Thailand and experienced something different out there. He came back to he came back to New York, and people in a so-called community were looking at him funny. Like, if I experience something I've never experienced, I'm coming back and telling you about it. Why would you shame me for being happy? Isn't that weird? Brothers going traveling and experience different things. Brothers out here happy about things that they experience that's not necessarily going on within the community, but they experience something that brought them joy. They come back with a new perspective, a new attitude. Listen, I got to get my body together. I got to cut out the fat and stop eating the fast foods. And I got a different perspective because I've seen something different. Now you're happy. Now people are chastising you for being happy in your community. Come on, gentlemen. That's backwards. You're being chastised in your community for being happy? You travel to this place and to this place. You've seen something different. You experienced some real femininity. You experienced a certain type of culture. You didn't know that these things even existed outside the so-called the bubble of the so-called American Black community. You experienced something different. You come back to your so-called community. All of a sudden, you're being chastised, even by your family being chastising you. Hell, even when I was over in Japan for all them 6 years, I was being chastised, and when you coming back to the United States and blah 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 blah. My own family chastising me. Why don't you call the house? And like, bro, I'm in Okinawa, Japan. Like, why would I be calling back to Rochester, New York? Y'all doing the same thing? Y'all always been doing the same talking points, the same places. Y'all doing the same thing. So why would I want to keep calling back to Rochester, New York to talk to you guys? You've been doing the same thing. Like, why would I keep calling the house? Like, parents used to get on me. Like, call the house every once in a while and check on us and this, that, and the third. Like, son, I'm in a whole different country. Experience something I've never experienced in my life. Like, why would I want to keep reflecting back to upstate New York? Why would I even want to reflect to the United States, period? Just for what? Like, how is it a crime for a so-called American black man to be happy? How do you get chastised by your so-called people for being happy? Brothers out here, brothers out here dying and shot. There's so many death is around every corner in the so-called American black community. Death is around every freaking corner. Every time we turn around, get mugged, shot, something this, something that, and shoot, you messing with this girl and she trying to rob you. There's death everywhere in the black community. Death is all over the place. But you come back to that so-called community where death is everywhere and you're happy, and all of a sudden you're getting chastised. Going back to Al Grease. Al Grease said, listen, I've been to Thailand. I went to the second time I went to, like he was telling people, he said the first time he went to, I don't know if you guys know Al Grease, you guys can check him out, but first time he said he was going to go to Brazil, people in New York talk about he might get shot and stabbed and killed and you might get mugged and this, that, and the third. Like, bro, that happens all the time in New York. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, you might go out there and get kidnapped. Like, what the hell? Like, bro, I could be walking down the streets in Brooklyn to get shot. Like, what are you talking about? Same thing with me when I was out there. I told you guys earlier when I had a chance to go back to Iraq and tax free for 1 year, 100 grand, and I'm sitting there talking to my dad. He talking about you can get hurt and shot and stabbed and kidnapped and blown up, this, that, and the third. But dude, if I walk down the street in freaking Rochester, I can get shot from somebody back in high school that didn't like me. That happens all the time back in Rochester. Like, what are we talking about? Hell, I just looked at my street. I looked at my street back in Rochester. Come to find out, 3 people got shot on the corner. The street I grew up in Rochester, I looked it up like last year sometimes, trying to do some things, trying to look up, the street I grew up on, and come to find out, there's 3 people got murdered, got shot and killed on the corner where my parents live at. And you talking to me about me going to Iraq or me going to wherever I was going to, I can get shot and killed, but you got 3 people last year that got killed on your corner. That's not even the 200 feet up the on the corner. Your house is like the 7th house from the corner that 3 people got shot and killed. And you talk about me going to Iraq, me going to these different places and getting killed. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, bro, it's very weird. I keep telling you, the black community is like a suckhole, bro. Like, these people don't want you to leave. Like, these so-called black people don't want you to leave, dude. They want you to stay in misery forever and ever and ever. Shoot, I remember plenty of times when I'm sitting back at home, these young brothers out here got opportunities to go to this college, that college, this college. It's like you heard word that so-and-so was going to overseas to do this and to do that. And all of a sudden, they got all this hate coming to them now because you got opportunity to go here and go there, and you still got people still sitting up on the block, still doing that dumb stuff. Hell, you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys in New York City right now, you got cousins and friends, and you might have heard so and so going to a college to play ball overseas somewhere. It would seem like that particular person had a big ass target on their back. Like, the person that had the opportunity to go somewhere else has all of a sudden has a target on their back. I heard plenty of times brothers that were supposed to go here and go there and getting shot and killed and stabbed because somebody was jealous and all this other stuff. Come on, man. Like, that's weird. anyways, man, going back to the top, man. Yeah, gentlemen, how is it a crime for you being happy in the so-called American black community? How is it a crime for you being happy in general? Everybody else in your so-called community is in misery, but you're happy. But somehow you're wrong for being happy. It's wrong for you being happy. You experience something. You got a promotion. I mean, I mean, whatever it is that it doesn't matter. But whatever it is that you're doing in life, you come back to your so-called community, and these people are looking at you like the Grinch that stole Christmas. Hey, I got a promotion. Hey, I got a new car. Got a new house. God forbid you marry somebody that's outside the black community. Brothers, man, be happy, gentlemen. Have some joy. Whatever it is that you're doing in life, have joy and be the greatest version of yourself. It's not a crime for you to be happy. You met somebody that's outside the so-called American black community, gentlemen. Rock with, rock with her. She rocking with you. Rock. Who cares about what the community has to say anymore? It's a wrap. I tell brothers all the time, listen, we have the seed. So whatever female I put my seed into, that's the new community now. I detaching myself from these people and I'm creating a new community. That's what you gentlemen should be doing. You don't need to be sticking around this community that you have no control over. You have no say so of nothing that's going on in the so-called American black community. You don't have no say of nothing that goes on in the American black community. These are facts. So don't stick around and you don't feel obligated. I hate when people trying to put the guilt thing on you. Oh my God! And what about the kids down the street and all that other stuff? Well, what are you doing for the kids? I mean, I've been gone from the so-called hood or where I'm from. I've been gone 20 years. So what are you doing for little boo boo and little skeet skeet down the street? Are you doing anything for them? No. So you want me to come back to your community and create all this whatever that you're not doing yourself? But then these same people are going to try to put guilt you into staying in the same filth that they're in. Like that doesn't make sense, man. Gentlemen, it's weird out here, bro. Man, listen, gentlemen, be free, be happy, travel, do new things in life, man. Life is too short for you to be around miserable people. Don't let these people shame you. Use the sorcery of guilt and shame to bring you back to the plantation, gentlemen. Leave and don't turn back. Leave and don't come back. So I got an older brother that's 7 years older than me, man. He left and he ain't never come back. Matter of fact, his first wife was a white woman. He divorced her and he got remarried to another white woman. You think he cared about what my parents had to say and all we're concerned? Like, he didn't care. I'm starting to take the same attitude he did, man. I don't care either, bro. What my people gotta say, and somebody got son. Like, dude, I'm. Listen, I don't left my house back in 21 years ago. I don't care what people got to say. What I'm doing. I don't care about what no community, what my parents, anybody. Listen, I'm doing me. 40 years old. And I feel good because it's like I'm finally. It feels like it's taking me four decades for me to really be doing my thing now. Always trying to get somebody's approval and always trying to do this and trying to please my parents and do this and do that. But now I'm just like, F it, man. 40 years old, man. It's time for me to be the greatest version of me. That has nothing to do with the community. I'm starting my own community now. I'm creating my own community now with whoever I'm trying to create that community with. If I don't want to deal with the so-called American black woman, that's my business. I don't need to be chastised because this is what I decided to do. Oh man, see once again, and you tell people in your community, listen, I was, I tell people, listen, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't see myself marrying another so-called American black woman. I just don't see myself doing it. Oh my God, little boo boo. What does little boo? What? What? You be like, huh? I'm looking like, what does little boo boo got to do with me choosing somebody besides Shaquita and them? Everybody's all butt hurt. I don't understand. Like, bro, it's so weird in the so-called American black community. It's like the Twilight Zone, dude. I don't know. It's like the Matrix, bro. It's like everybody. It's like somebody hit a button. It's like everybody's on the same program. Like you should be happy. Like, bro, do what you want to do, man. Do what you want to do. Like my brother. Listen, my older brother told me when I got to Japan because I was heavy. I was. Y'all, I'm with the sisters all the way, and I want to keep it real and all the other stuff. And this is what my older brother told me, and I remember this to this day. I got to Okinawa in when did I get there? Oh one. Got in June of 01. He was there too. He was like, "Listen, bro, before you lock it down with a sister, you need to taste the color of the rainbow. Before you lock it down with any so-called American black woman, you need to taste the color of the rainbow." And that's one thing I regret when I'm being in Japan. All almost 6.5 years I was there, I dealt with the Japanese. I was fully immersed into the culture. I loved the culture and whatever. I was doing so many different things, but I only dealt with Japanese women only 6 months. I was like less than a year from leaving, from separating from the military and stuff like that. That's when I dealt with the Japanese women. I was like 6, 7 months from separating from the military and returning back to the states and all that stuff. And that's when I really dealt with the Japanese women. I wish I would have listened to my brother, 6 years prior and really delved into the Japanese women more. Maybe my outlook would have been different. And, I had hell. I might not even be here in the United States. That would have happened, but it is what it is. And I don't get me wrong. I do miss Japan a lot. I do, man. Sometimes I be reminiscing, like, damn, bro, it was so peaceful and quiet and just I mean, it was just that 6 years just went by so freaking fast, man. And you come here and it's just like, this is you come to the United States and this how it feels. Probably for you brothers too. When you it's like when you in this atmosphere, this is you got all this going on. It seems like you're you're constantly under attack or something like that. Some type of energy. It's like you're under attack. It's just like, oh my goodness, just all this anxiety and worry and this, that, and the third, and all types of craziness. But when I was over there, gentlemen, it just felt like a weight was just lifted, man. I'm just out there in Okinawa on an island, bro. I'm just out here just enjoying life, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. I need to go back. I need to take my children over there, bro. Like, I desperately need to get back to Okinawa, man. Like, listen, Japan was like that. Japan was like that, bro. It was, Okinawa was, of course, a small island off the mainland, but man, just being over there on that small tropical island with the crystal, on the top side of the island, the north side of the island is just crystal clear blue water. I mean, hell, you waking up sometimes, you got your little apartment on, it's called the seawall, and you just taking walks and you just looking at the Pacific Ocean, man, and it's just serene. There's no word to explain the feeling I had over there. It was just like, man, it was just like, only thing better, because you at the time, because you don't get me wrong, when you in Okinawa, you do get island fever. You do. When you on the island, bro, you do get island fever. But the thing is, because I wanted a girlfriend and things of that nature. But the thing is, if I'd listened to my brother talking about taste the color of the rainbow before you lock it down with these American black women, I mean, it probably been even more beautiful. But I was so tunnel vision locked into the so-called American black woman. I didn't even know, man. That's the only thing I would have changed with them 6 years is just being open to just dealing with the Japanese one. That's the one thing I do regret. It's just dealing more with the Japanese women. Yeah, 6 months I'm about to leave. Here I go. I deal with the Japanese woman, but I should have dealt with them more. Them 6 years I was there, and that probably been my experience. I probably had a whole different experience. I probably never left. But anyway, gentlemen, going back to the top, man, it's not a crime to be happy. Okay, and if people in your so-called community are not happy, and everything's disgruntled, and everything is about doom and gloom, and we all white supremacy, and somebody's always got a foot on your neck, gentlemen. Remove yourself from that situation. Remove yourself in that situation. If you got children, remove them too from that situation. Because your children need to be free. Like I got two little ones, and my goal is to take my babies to to the places that I've been to. I would love to take my children to Japan. Like my oldest one talks about it all the time. Hey, Daddy, we want to go to Japan. Yeah, Daddy's gonna take you over there, baby. You're gonna see life outside the so-called United States and the black community because there's so much life that's out here, but nobody talks about these different things in the so-called black community. Everything is about doom and gloom, and the white man is always oppressing me, and we shall overcome. Come on, man, gentlemen, when are you ever going to win? When are you ever going to win? Oh my God, the white man's oppressing me. Okay, so gentlemen, when are you going to win in life? We're in America, and we're all everybody goes back to slavery, and the thing is, a lot of these people talk about slavery, but they don't even know. I could ask any one of you pro-blacks who in your family was a slave. You can't even answer that question. If I even ask you what's a slave schedule, half you pro-blacks don't even know what I'm talking about. You don't even know that your people were enslaved or in chattel slavery. If I ask you about the Papal Bull 1452, you probably don't even know what the hell that is. Perpetual servitude by King George the Fifth. Man, anyways, but yeah, gentlemen, it's not a crime to be happy, to have joy. Not happy, have joy. Be happy and let that happiness turn into joy. Joy is everlasting. Doesn't matter what's going on, you always have that joy. Happiness can come and go, but joy lasts forever. Have joy. Joy, an unspeakable joy. That's it's talking about in the Bible and all that good stuff. But yeah, gentlemen, it's not a crime to have happiness and joy. It's not a crime. Your happiness doesn't have to come within this a female or what's happening in your community. You can have happiness and joy within yourself. Whatever it is that you're creating or developing, have happiness and joy within that. And if people around you can't be happy or be happy for you, gentlemen, then listen, it's time to cut them people off. Period. Don't let these people gaslight you and talking about oh, you're going to leave, and oh my God, gentlemen, it's a bunch of BS, man. Every time you talking about you about to leave and you about to disconnect from the so-called American black community and connect yourself with other people and this, that, no, it's all once again, it always go back to the sorcery, the guilt and the shame. The same weapon they always use, the guilt and the shame, all the time to keep you to stay, blah, 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 blah. Because that's what got me, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. That's what got me to come back to the United States. Calling my people talking about hey, listen, I'm about to stay in Japan for a longer period of time. And this is why I'm here back in the United States. I should have stayed my behind over there in Japan. Shoot. God, man. Anyways, like I said, you can't go back. But yeah, don't allow your parents, don't allow your sisters and brothers and your aunties to guilt and shame you to stay on the plantation. Be happy, uh, 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 be happy and have joy wherever it is you want to be at. Wherever on this platform called Earth, where you want to be there, gentlemen. Don't ever be guilt and ashamed to stay in a place where people talking about something you need to build and X, Y, and Z. But them people that talking about you need to build are not building themselves. Don't be fooled by that illusion. That's an illusion. That's a lie. These people using that sorcery or the guilt and the shame to get you to stay, but they not even doing that. Guilt and the shame. Guilt and the shame. Oh my God. It's always they always use them kids, man. It's always the kids. You know, you ain't doing nothing. These your community ain't doing nothing for these children, but they want you to stay and they want you to fix their problems and all that stuff. Gentlemen, F all that, bro. Be happy. Whatever it is you want to move to, whatever it is you're trying to experience, gentlemen, be happy. See what this earth platform is about. There's so many different people that's out here, and there's so many people that look up to you. That's the thing. A lot of people. I was just listening to Aaron with Black Men Travel. He was talking to the brother from. He's in South Africa, and he was talking to the young lady that was sitting next to him, and the young lady was like, "Listen, we binge watch everything with the so-called African Americans. Everything that they're creating, we're watching all of that. We're taking that in. We're watching all your sitcoms. We're listening to all your music. We're dressing like you. We're talking like you. X, Y, and Z. But once again, gentlemen, you wouldn't know about this because in your community, you just a bitch ass nigga. In your community, you just a bitch, and you rusty, dusty, rusty, dusty, dusty, rusty, dusty, 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 all this rusty, dusty stuff. But that young lady sat there. She's in South Africa. She's thousands of miles away. Talking some we out here. She said, "Listen, the word that she used. She said we're groupies of the so-called African Americans of you African American people. We are groupies." I've never heard anybody from any place else talk about some. We are groupies for you African American men. We are groupies, gentlemen. That's a whole. I see, but once again, you keep listening to this whole victim mentality. We shall overcome nonsense you hear every single day in your so-called community, and this female thousands of miles away talking about some. We are groupies for you, gentlemen. All your music. The same thing in Japan. Same thing in Japan. They got all our music. They watching all the BETs. They was watching all the MTVs. Every dance we was doing, they was doing over there. They coming up to me and like, yo, what's the, yo, you got a song, you got a dance, you got something that these people wanted me to teach them a dance. They wanted me to sing, to show them how to sing and show them how to, because I was playing drums. They wanted me to show them how to play drums and show them how to do this and show them how to do that. These people were like receptive of a so-called American black man over there in Japan. So how are these people receptive and want more of what you had to offer, but you come back to your so-called community, you just a bitch ass nigga. You just a rusty dusty. You don't build nothing. But these other women, thousands of miles away, desire the things that you had to offer. They want your songs. They want your fashions. They want your dances. They want your culture. They want it all. This is what I experienced in Japan. When that young lady said that up when she was in South Africa, that just took me back to Japan. I'm like, wow. She's saying the same thing they was saying in Japan. But you come back to here to your American black community, you just some thug ass nigga. You just some super predator. You worthless and blah blah blah. Come on, gentlemen, wake up, man. Wake up and be happy. Move about, man. This whole platform called Earth is very big. You need to go out there and you need to see where you need to place yourself at. I tell you, gentlemen, all the time. Everybody, somewhere on this Earth platform, somebody needs what you have to offer. I don't care what your mama and them talking about. Somewhere on this Earth platform, somebody needs what you have to offer. I don't care how big or small it is. Gentlemen, think outside the box. Be happy. It's not a crime. If people in your community are chastising you for being happy, then move. I'm speaking to myself. You guys like, share, subscribe. Peace.